it has been a long time that we can finally say hello, everybody, and welcome to South Tucson, Arizona. It is time, oh, it is racing time. This is the Diddler Cup Racing Series, and we are just about to get things started. It is a new season. We have been waiting this for a long time. I've been ready. It feels good. My name is Chip Chapman. I'm joined, as always, by Lightning Lord Shivers.
You thought you could get rid of us. Well, guess what? You were wrong. We're back. We're better than ever. There's going to be new drivers. There's going to be new place to race. And, of course, we've got a great defending champion who starts on pole position to start this 2018 Diddler Cup Racing Series.
Well, that is very true. We've got Jean-Paul Henry on the pole for this first race of the season, a 22-race season in total, 14 regular season races, an 8-race playoff. We're going to get into that as the season goes. Here's the thing you need to know. You want to make the playoffs, you got to win a race. Winners of the races make the playoffs automatically. 16 drivers out of these 32 in total will make that. We'll make the playoffs. And we're gonna get into that, of course. But it's a brand new season. It's good to be back. We've been waiting for this. It's a good, beautiful day in South Tucson, Arizona for the traditional.
You're damn right it is. You're damn right it is. And Chip, I've missed you so much. Hey, listen, I know things have been tough here. I gotta say the probation hearings nonstop in the off season.
Yep.
They've been very stressful, but I'm just glad to be back in the booth to call some goddamn auto racing.
No doubt about that.
Goddamn auto racing. Talk about this Beefis 300. Use the hashtag goddamn auto race.
You can use that, absolutely. It is the Beefis 300. Just a reminder, due to the unusual appearance of cicadas here in South Tucson, the Beefis 300 will be limited to 100 laps on this 3/4 of a mile oval track. Of course, we have to remind you of that, of course, but that's not important. We're gonna have a big race. You're right. It's been a long time. I can't wait. We had that little bit of, I finally just got out of prison. That was 72.5 hours.
Same here, man.
72.5 hours. I don't want to talk about, but let's just say there ain't no chance we're racing in Tacoma anytime soon. So just stay out of Tacoma. Other than that, we're good. We're good.
I mean, that's perfectly fine, man. I drive a Chevy, not a Toyota pickup truck anyway. But that's besides the point.
Fair enough.
Folks, well, this field, I tell you what, I've never seen such an impressive collection of talent here, and we've got so many new, great up-and-coming young drivers. We got an incredible rookie class here. This
got field. A lot of rookies.
Yep, we're just wondering who is going to win our inaugural Rookie of the Year prize.
We are going to actually have a chance to do that now. I'm actually going through my list, marking all the rookies. I'm trying to get a count going on this right now before we get too far into things, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that as we go. We got the addition of new racing teams too. A lot of new drivers, a lot of new racing teams. This is gonna be a very exciting year, and of course, some of your favorites from last year. As the seasons change, that's how this thing's got to go. We got new drivers. We got the same drivers in new rides, so it's gonna be a very interesting thing to see. Will teams help each other, or are they just too drunk to know who's on their side?
I think both of these are a possibility.
I think we're kidding ourselves if we're saying anything otherwise.
Speaking of which, 4.5 alcohol by volume. This is this is a little weak for my Lightning here, but I mean the season's just started. We'll crack into the brown liquor at some point. It's fine.
Absolutely.
We got a double hicker this weekend. That's okay.
We're going to be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for the Tucson Dehydration Grand Prix on the actual roads of South Tucson. Gonna be an exciting one, and I think just by my marking my numbers down, I think I count 10 rookie drivers this year. So I'm gonna make sure that's right. I'll correct myself if that's incorrect. 10 rookie drivers. I think we might as well go ahead and get right to the starting grid. Should we go ahead and do that?
Yes, let's mate this year's field in the Diddler Cup Racing Series. It's opening round, the Beefis 300
There
at
you
Diddler
see it.
Motor Speedway.
The Beefis 300. Here is our starting grid. Get to know these names. These are the 32 drivers you'll follow through the season. On the pole, it's Jean-Paul Henry, our defending champion, and Paul Walker in the new ride, the 00 Nihilist Arby's car. On row 2, Paul Alcohol back in the 35 car with Fat Daryl in a brand new racing team, Adjective Foods. He's driving the All the Ham car. On row 3, John Winchester, nice new paint scheme for the number 47 Just Guns car. And, of course, Jeff Chenise running independently in that Jeff's Chinese car. Richard Blood now drives the Boxawan car, number 51. He joins Ennio Sparini in the number 28. Big Daddy Thibodeau in South Tucson Youth Motorsports. He's on the inside of the number 60 car, along with Vitaly Kriptov in that number 1 Graybits car.
That's one of our rookies.
One of our rookies. Stumpy Lane and 542 Norman got the older one and the younger one. 542 Norman, a rookie driver, 13 years old, driving the number 13. Bowie Jessup in the 22 HCL car, and Petrol Topoff in the number 90 car for Matryoshka Inc. We got Kevin Boner Pillman. He's back in the Donna Rex Ejectapen. The KFC I Ate the Bones car, driven by a rookie, Smiley Van Buren in Spub and Mortport's racing team, along with Bucket Dushine, a second rookie on that team, in the number 55 Taco Baco car, along with Giacomo. Ricky Walton and Woo Ba Bala, they're on that road. Woo Ba Bala, a nice new paint scheme for the Hugger Oranges. Pontiac Bonneville, another rookie, Agent Toby Keith in the 27 Throat Candy car, and Jeff Gordon the Horse in the number 8 Gunk car. On row 12, Reverend Pastor Chavez back on Mr. Naga's Most Glorious Racing team with the number 33 Yes car, and Morris Mayfield driving the 69 car.
Nice.
And there he is, the man himself, Jim Blossom's new ride for him, independently riding in the Plasma Train 41 car, along with Nikolai, the Soviet driving bear. Cobb Salad, a rookie, in the number 21 car, and Harry Gunt in the So Much Chicken 82 car. El Matador Toto Rosanna in the 75 Air Supply car, bad qualifying run for him, along with Dirk Tanaka driving the Slap Mark car, number 99 there, and on the back, it's Doug Pork in the Good Grave 83, another rookie, and Mr. Naga's Most Glorious driver in the 10 car. There are our field. That's our field. That's the field of racers. I'm just looking through my notes right now. I don't see any other rookies that I forgot to mention. You know, we got a lot of new rides, a lot of new drivers you got to start paying attention to. You know, your favorite driver may have a new ride, may have a new paint scheme, maybe on a new racing team. We got some guys changing up their manufacturer just because of that. I think if I recall, I'm looking at it, we got the new team at HTE Bassmet Racing. Has there ever been a sport more entertaining than racing? That's the team up of Ricky Walton in the 32 and El Matador Toto Rosanna in the 75. Good little, good, nice, and a very nice allegiance there. They're driving under Pontiac. And I think that's going to be a little interesting to see how El Matador Toto Rosanna handles the new equipment.
That's absolutely true. And, of course, we got Most Glorious Motorsports. I tell you, Mr. Naga, of course, may he live for 1,000 years. He has invested a lot in assembling this 3-car lineup of Bowie Jessup, Richard Pastor Chavez, 2 race winners last year,
yes,
and Mr. Naga's Most Glorious driver, who I must say looks a little bit different this year. I can't tell what it is. Something about it's different, and I think that might carry a new energy.
You know, I was actually just thinking about it. I saw him earlier, and that photo we had, that didn't quite look similar.
Oh no!
But, maybe we'll have to update that.
Different haircut, maybe.
It's gotta be it. You know, we'll get an updated photo of Mr. Naga's Most Glorious driver, because I don't want to do any injustice and have the wrong kind of a photo there. But you're right; it looks a little like a different. I mean, I don't want to say a different person, but maybe it's just a new lease on life. Maybe got some plastic surgery, but it definitely looks like just a new person, a new personality. And that Kumite Mr. Naga car, the number 10, starts at the back of the field.
And, of course, you know, this is a bountiful buffet of motorsports. And I want to point to 2 teams in particular. You got Adjective Foods,
new racing
Daryl
team,
Harry Gutt, and rookie Doug Pork. And then you got Spubby Motorsports with 2 brand new rookie drivers, Smiley Van Buren and Bucky Dushine, joining veteran Paul Walker, who returns in a brand new ride this year.
Yeah, the numbers, the 00 Nihilist Arby's car, and again that Adjective Foods car. Those are 2 seasoned cars, and not just seasoned like the meat. The 81 and the 82 actually they bought the ownership of the number 66. And the number 87 cars, which were driven by Fat Daryl and Harrogate last year. So those aren't necessarily brand new rides. They may have just taken on the Pontiac. They may have just switched their gears to Pontiac. But nonetheless, they are absolutely familiar with their racing team. They're not in brand new cars, just new numbers, new ownership, new sponsors. It's going to be great. I think we are ready to get things going. Should we head down to our? We got a minister in the field. I think I can go ahead and get my mic in front of him. We should go ahead and do it. Yeah, we've got Father Gary Bile of the Biblical Proportions Blessed Buffet here in South Tucson to give the prayer. I'm gonna go ahead and get my mic ready for him.
Yes.
Let us pray. Do this. Yeah. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for all you have for us in your word, and in your grace you give us all the bounty that we need upon which to race and eat and race and eat again. And we thank you, of course, for Biblical Proportions Blessed Buffet and the bounty that we provide the lovely people of South Tucson and surrounding metropolitan areas every day of this glorious week, especially on Sunday as we have our Sabbath supper special. Lord, we thank you for all of the 24 different types of potato ingredients that are on just one of our bars alone, of which I will remind you, of course, include home fries, hash browns, hash fries, home browns, French fries, mashed potatoes, twice-baked potatoes, thrice-baked potatoes. Also, of course, boiled and mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, seventh-baked potatoes, 7 times, of course. That's a unique thing at our Sabbath special. And, of course, the way Jesus would have his raw potatoes. So, Lord, we thank you for all of those potatoes, and we thank you for the 10% off special on Saturday at the for our Holy Vigil dinner at Biblical Proportions Blessed Buffet. Thank you, Lord, and let us eat.
Let us say amen.
I think that kind of turned into a bit of an advertisement by the end of that prayer. I think he kind of forgot that he was supposed to bless these drivers and use them tonight. And something about
I could absolutely go for like a whole supersized thing fries right now.
I'm starving. Saying. I could just go for a lot of starch right now. Well,
go for some tater tots, some mashed potatoes, some French fries, some more tater tots.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary.
Well, I think it is now time. Lord, do you want to go ahead and make sure we get our almost not quite, but pretty darn close to the most famous words in motorsports. Let's go ahead and get down to that. I think they were just testing out the megaphone. You want to go ahead and give that?
All right. Diddler Cup Racing Series fans, start your damn engines. That's close enough. That's close enough without getting it.
I don't think that gets a suit. I don't think that gets a suit at all.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they are not. I'm going to let you know right now. They are not taking a full pace lap. They are heading them out there. There is our field.
Right away. You've waited long enough. You've waited long enough to get this going.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once we see the pace car leave onto pit road, we're going to let you know that these boys are about to get things going. So go ahead, reach over, strap something on, and let's go! Diddler! Oh, God, it feels good to see that!
It's a goddamn auto race!
It is, in fact, a goddamn auto race! As that is Jean-Paul Henry leading them to the start-finish line. He's got a good draft right now by number 35, Paul Alcohol, and they start falling into that line. And Alcohol moves right in to second place. Going on with things. Paul Walker in third place. Fat Darrell in fifth, right behind the Just Guns car. And you're going to see these laps are going to start going really quickly.
Absolutely, South Tucson. This Diddler Motor Speedway has had some overhauls this offseason. A lot of very much embezzled and ungainfully gotten money has been invested in renovating this track to make it more exciting for the fans.
No doubt about that. And speaking of, let's look off the line. Is of course Petrol Topoff. Oh, sorry, Vitaly Kriptov in that number 1. Graybits car, of course, Graybits, the official cryptocurrency of the Diddler Cup. He's going backwards, dropping into 12th place, and that is a brand new team, Matryoshka Inc. He's over in 12th place right now. He started, I think, in the top 10, had a good qualifying run, but he's just going backwards. You're seeing he's getting passed by Bowie Jessup right now, and this is getting really interesting.
Now, of course, fans out there watching this race or listening to it on the radio, we got our simulcast going on KDWI in South Tucson, our classical police scanner and motorsports station. That's KDWI in Tucson. You know, you can donate your gray bits and help support the Diddler Cup Racing Series financially to support future events like this, because it's going to be a good one.
It looks like we're seeing Paul Alcohol trying to keep up with the pace of Jean-Paul Henry, our series champion. And, of course, Jean-Paul Henry got himself a racing team. Of course, he's got a couple of seasoned drivers in Stumpy Lane in that number 9 car. And, of course, the number 51, the Box of Wine car, brand new racing team, just took the sponsorship with Richard Blood behind the wheel there. That 51 car. And we're seeing all 3 cars of DWI, that's Dixie Wimmer Incorporated, running in the top 10 right now. We got Lane in 9th, we got Blood in 6th, and we got Jean-Paul Henry leading this race.
Well, we hear that when they were trespassing on this track for preseason testing, that they seem to have an advantage. It seems like those Chevys were really hooked up. And of course, Jean-Paul Henry, when you win the championship, it is so hard to defend it. Take it from me, I've won championships in the past, and I've lost championships in the past because the damn bastards who were cheating and putting trick motors in the cars and trying to cheat their way and beat me for all them titles. But I will digress.
And we're looking. You know, interesting question as I just put over a great athletic family, of course. 532 Norman, the younger brother of I believe it was 6'4" to 8 Norman or 6'4" to 3 Norman. He is in fact 13 years old and driving in 10th place, right behind Stumpy Lane, and of course he's got his chaperone, Big Daddy Thibodeau, in the number 60 car right on his tail. 10% of this race has been completed. Jean-Paul Henry continuing to lead it here on this short track. But interesting story of the South Tucson Youth Motorsports. The team of Ennio Sparini and Big Daddy Thibodeau have coming in 768 Norman. Thank you very much. That was one of our notes just given to me. Got the name correct. 768 Norman, the older brother of 532 Norman.
Now, 642 Norman is also a distant cousin from the other side of the family.
Yeah, excellent hockey player, just an athletic family all around them. But it's a great thing what South Tucson is doing for youth motorsports. They are having some classes. Of course, Ennio Sparini and Big Daddy Thibodeau, Ennio Sparini relocated to South Tucson to help teach, and they have picked their top young driver and put him behind the wheel. He don't care if he ain't got a license. That 13-year-old in the number 13 Florida Georgia Lime car. Of course, that's a beautiful new sponsorship and a good one for South Tucson Youth Motorsports to pick up. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our leader right now, Paul Alcohol with not Morris Mayfield, Paul Walker. I'm so used to seeing that 00 and thinking Morris Mayfield. That's going to happen a couple times, folks. But Paul Alcohol is making a run on the leader, and he's trying to close down and get that pass. Plenty of time.
It's the Paul, and Paul show. We got 3 Pauls up at the front. Jean-Paul, Paul Alcohol, Paul Walker.
And Joe John Winchester right behind them, and that just
He is an honorary Paul.
He is not Paul.
Joe John Paul Winchester, and I'm pretty sure Daryl is a nickname for Paul.
The Fat's not a nickname, it's Daryl.
Yeah, Fat's
and look, here we go. We're trying to make the pass. Will we see a new race leader? They're going side by side down the stretch. Paul Alcohol looking for it. He's got the inside, and I think Jean-Paul Henry, I think old JP just let him take the pass and lead the lap. Now, of course, we're going to see bonus points for leading the most laps and also for leading a lap this year. So that's going to be another new little bonus there. It's got 5 points for leading a lap. Most laps led gets another 5 bonus points. And, of course, we will explain how all that will tie in to the playoffs eventually. But Paul Alcohol has led this race. We are at the 18th lap right now.
Paul Alcohol, multi-time race winner last season, as was Jean-Paul Henry.
Yes,
and
were.
so was Joe John Winchester in 4th place, and Fat Darrell in 5th.
If I recall, well, the 47, the 40, and the 35 were three of the cars that were coming down to the very end when it came to deciding who was going to be series champion. That's not going to be a points race this time. It's just going to be who finishes in that last race in the highest position.
Absolutely. We have adopted the playoff format, but listen, we're going to do it better because the Diddler Cup Race Series, it's not a series on the decline. You see it on the rise. Look at our viewership. Look at the great bits flowing in from our wonderful viewers.
Yes, thank you for all the donations of Gray Bits. Of course, our Gray Bits donations, the official cryptocurrency of IRM, which is the channel you're watching. If you're brand new to this channel, please give it a follow. Give our Twitter a follow as well. Our YouTube a subscription.
Click all them buttons.
Click all the buttons down there, and of course we have a wiki page which will get updated so you can keep track of all the racers, all the racing, and all the excitement of the Diddler Cup. Just saw the link posted in the chat. We also have a Discord if you need. Thank you very much for the donations of some Gray Bits as we are looking at Joe John Winchester in that 47 Just Guns Ford Pinto car, the only non-rookie of the ATF Bureau racing team. You know, he's got two rookies with him, and is that going to be? He's a fairly young driver himself. Lord, is that going to be a bit of pressure on Joe John, especially when you're trying to win a championship?
I think Joe John Winchester's background. You know, he comes from somewhat of a broken family, but still a second-generation athlete in his own right. I think he showed a lot of poise and a lot of grit and determination points last year. I think this season it's going to motivate him to be a true leader on that squad and potentially make that run at the championship that fell just short last season.
It was absolutely heartbreaking. He had a chance to win it, but just started going backwards. In that final race of the season at Texas,
This is one of the more intriguing drivers on this field, Agent Toby Keith. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm looking up this entry list and saying, oh my gosh, we got Toby Keith driving in the Diddler Cup race.
You're absolutely right, we got Toby Keith, but I don't understand how he became a special agent.
Oh, I don't know. No, goodness. So I'm sure that's nothing, right? I mean, he ain't going to narc on us, right? I mean,
he knows that Beer from the Horses was just a song, right? Like it's just a music video. They ain't actually like sheriff types where they're going and hunting down baddies, right? I mean, he's even smoking weed with Willie again.
Oh, I absolutely hope so. All I got to say is Junior Johnson did not get in trouble with the federales for driving moonshine across state lines just so we could have some milk toast book. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm just going to enjoy the racing.
Well, Agent Toby Keith, one of the two rookie drivers for ATF Bureau, he's in 24th place. The other rookie, a little bit further back, looks like that is Cobb Salad in that number 21 car, sponsored by LegalBetForRealMoney.gov. Of course, it is an official gambling site. You can join them for their FBIs, their fun betting innovations.
That's right, the official daily fantasy partner of the Diddler Cup Racing Series.
But he is sitting only in 28th place, and that might be the thing. You know, new rookie drivers at this point, you got to understand, and you might have to agree with me on this one. Sometimes when you're a rookie driver at your first race, the jitters are up there. You just got to keep the car together and keep it on the racetrack.
Yeah, I remember driving my very first race when I was about 17 years old down at the old, out on the South Tucson Fairgrounds. I tell you, my hands were shaking. I was puking and burping and shitting my pants and puking and shitting my pants again, all before they dropped the green flag of the race. And I was scared to death.
I don't doubt that. That is a little terrifying to think of, that you had to basically more or less stay with that in your pants, in your fire suit the entire time.
Never ever have a bender before your first race, especially in between exams and on your GED exams.
Good advice, I think, is that right there.
Remember, folks, liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, you get sick quicker. And that's certainly the case, especially in the Diddler Cup Racing Series.
And one of the things we're going to look at right now, by the way, is that is Reverend Pastor Chavez sitting in 20th place. And he is sandwiched right now by two rookie drivers. That is Petrol Top Off in the number 90 car. Don't look like a 90, but that is, in fact, apparently that's a Cyrillic number. That is a Russian number. Matryoshka Inc., it is a global, worldwide phenomenon, is the Diddler Cup, that the Russians just decided, they need to infiltrate our race. So we got Russian influence in racing. That is just something that brings a certain half of America together. Good old-fashioned stock car racing and Russians interfering. I think that is just a true statement, and we're happy to see the people of Matryoshka Inc. Joining us here. And that is, of course, Dimitri's Russian Roulette Laser Tag, the sponsor of that number 90 car, driven by Petrol Top Off.
Now, I haven't ever been to a Dimitri's Russian Roulette laser tag. What is the concept of it? If I'm thinking I know what it is. It sounds like a good time, but for the folks like explain what that is.
Laser tag is a great time. I mean, we're a little old for it, but ain't no reason that adults can't enjoy laser tag as well. But the beauty of Dimitri's Russian Roulette laser tag, and you're gonna start seeing them popping up all over the country. It's a huge hit in Russia. Is that it's laser tag, but however, one of the guns that they hand you is a real gun, is a real firearm.
Now we're talking just a straight up 357.
I mean, it's a straight up rifle. It's like a hunting rifle. Like it don't even look different from the. It don't even look different from the other laser tag guns. Like right when you sign up if you got the real gun or not. But it adds a little bit of excitement. It adds a little bit of fun, and I gotta tell you, the kids tend to love it. Sometimes. They're crying, they're excited, they're screaming, and crying and screaming, that's just another way of laughing and showing how much fun you have, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. If you ain't crying, you ain't trying.
That is true. And speaking of the Russian team, Matryoshka Inc., one of the much talked about teams is that number 2 car. Looks like a B. It's a number 2. It's sponsored by Russian Bears to You, a delivery service. You can get Russian mail-ordered bears sent right to your house, and that is, of course, driven by one of their most ardent supporters, Nikolai, the Soviet driving bear.
That is an actual bear behind the wheel. Who is driving? Bear is driving.
How can that be? And number 35, Paul Alcohol, still driving the War Machine Racing team. Affiliated Bathhouse Jim's Bathtub Gin car. A little bit of a different color paint scheme. He drove a silver car last year. A little bit of a color scheme there. He's joining Giacomo. Giacomo is sitting in 14th place as his teammate, and they were doing that's a 2-car team, both of which had wins last year. So that they're looking to do even better this year.
Absolutely. There is only one Diddler Cup Racing Series title. There is only one Diddler Cup, and Paul Alcohol wants to be winning it this year.
No doubt about that.
Last season.
No doubt about that. And Lloyd, we're getting to about 4 to 2 laps into this race. We're starting to see the field kind of settle in here. We're starting to see John Paul Henry and Paul Walker and Joe John Winchester holding on to that lead. Fat Darrell keeping 5th place. Richard Blood, I believe, has moved up to 6th place. And Wuba Bala, let's take a look at Wuba Bala for a split second there. Wuba Bala has had his strongest performances last season on the road courses. We saw he actually won the race that we are going to have tomorrow. He won. It was not called the Tucson Dehydration Grand Prix, but he won on the actual roads of South Tucson last season, and he's got that is Buckadoo Shine right on his tail in that Taco Baco car, number 55. Of course, sponsored, part of the Spubby Motorsports racing team. That is, of course, sponsored by Spubby Eat Free. Lord, we're getting close to the halfway point in this race. Starting to see the little bit of a settling going on here as cars are starting to find where they're racing, where they can make a charge for.
Absolutely, and I think point you're going to see these cars coming for the tops because these tires are going to start to fall off. These cars are going to start slipping and sliding, and when that happens, it usually leads to some terrifying, disastrous, and potentially fatal accidents.
No
and that's
doubt
when we come
about that.
to the Diddler Cup Racing Series. That's what we tune in is for the carnage.
We are very excited to hear about that as it's coming. And we're watching Paul Walker seeing the top two get away from him just a little bit here on this course.
Speaking of fatalities, Paul Walker's making a charge.
Yes, Paul Walker making a charge in third place, taking over that 0-0 ride of nihilist Arby's. Now, I wonder if that means that he takes over the general nihilist feeling of ennui.
No, that's Ennui's up in he's
in second place, excuse me. But looks like Winchester's trying to put a run on him. Now, here's the thing. We're approaching the halfway point in this race. Lloyd, what do you, as you are a short track specialist back in your racing days, what is the most important thing as these short, you're just doing quick circles and quick circles. What is the important thing as you reach the halfway point on short track racing?
Well, you just gotta maintain a steady rhythm. It's a repetitive motion. You just got to do it over and over. You just got to keep stroking the car through the corners just repetitively, and you hope you just don't explode all over and make a mess. That I believe is the most important key to short track racing, and also just knocking anybody you see. If they won't move out of the way, you just got moving the hell out of the way.
I don't got a problem with that.
That's just good hard racing. If you don't like it, get the fuck out.
No doubt about that. We're seeing we got one car off the pace. He's a couple laps down. I don't know if he had to make a stop in the pits. That is the number 75 air supply car is about 6 laps down. I don't know if El Matador Toto Rosanna made a stop in the pits or what, but you can even see he's kind of off the line he's off the line. He's kind of,
which is very strange.
Off the pace. He's trying to make the pass right now. On the 82 car and Harry Gunt, I don't know even what he got very close there. We're gonna keep an eye on that, but not a good day for El Matador Toto Rosanna. But we'll keep an eye, and if we find out anything about that, and we see that is Harry Gunt not looking too sharp either. He's high up that course.
No, the Snatch Bandit is having a bad day out there on the racetrack, and I tell you, El Matador Toto Rosanna, he's trying to do a slide job up through that corner, but I tell you, he's not going to be holding that line and leading them all the way.
He is going to try to hold that line. I don't know if that's going to happen.
And of course, we paint the line down there on the racetrack just we know sometimes the drivers have a little bit too much substance in their bodies to try and negotiate the track. I mean, granted, it is kind of a circle, but every little bit helps. Remember, Diddler Cup has a stringent drug policy. We want to make sure every driver is on some sort of foreign substance going into this race, including the horse and the bear.
No doubt about that. Harry Gunt, not a very strong performance last season. I believe Harry Gunt finished second to last. But they bought the racing team. Adjective Foods really felt need. Look at Stumpin' Lane in that number 9 Gumboo's car got really close to Jeff Shanice there. Tried to make the pass, and we're looking to see some racing there, and they're going to try to chase down 532 Norman.
Oh my goodness, what a great story. You talk about the youth movement and some other stock car racing championships that ain't worth the shit. Well, I want to tell you the 532 Norman is 13 years old, and he's moving his way up to the field. He's up in the 7th right now.
7th place, and a lot of space on either side. If he can kind of pull himself into a draft of Richard Blood, and we got someone competing for the lead. A yellow flag may just help out this young kid, as he is all on his own. He is chaperoneless.
He don't need no chaperones, folks. He's going to go down that water slide, double middle fingers ablazing to the lifeguard. He's going to ride it backwards with his butt hanging out and everything.
No doubt about that. And we are seeing what we're seeing right now is there is a nice big mix-up of a couple of cars all battling for 8th place. Jeff Shanice leading the charge. Stumpin' Lane looking to make the pass. Can Stumpin' Lane complete it? He's got his nose in front.
He's opening up the door for Ennio Sparini. He's opening up the door for Ennio Sparini.
Absolutely.
And for Big Daddy Thibodeau.
Big Daddy Thibodeau's got his partner right behind him.
And another rookie, Vitaly Kriptov, another rookie in this field.
A lot of rookies to be talked about. Again, we got 10 rookies competing for Rookie of the Year. And Stumpy Lane moving up to what's going to be 8th place as we cross the start finish line. 60 laps done into this race. And you know, there's an interesting thing about this season, and this is a special. This is going to be kind of a bit of a rarity here. We've got a lot of new tracks we're going to be seeing, Lloyd. This is going to be one of a few familiar tracks to these drivers. So that's got to be a chance for some of the veterans, the ones who are not rookies at least, or ones who have performed really well on this track, to do just as well.
Absolutely, folks. And, you know, this track has also been extensively modified over the years. Of course, you can't really modify the streets of South Tucson because, hell, they don't have the budget to modify any of those roads. No.
But I'm just kind of doing a quick count right now to just see how many.
Now, of course, I believe I will be let through the customs this time to go to. I believe that's Apple the racetrack, and I also think we got a race out there over there in the United Kingdom.
Yes, we do. We are heading to. I believe we got a race over in the UK this year.
Yes, that's the roundabout by in Fockham, England.
Fockham, England. Yeah, we're going to be heading over to Fockham, and that's going to be another big race coming up. Very international here. And, of course, we're heading over to the UK. We're heading over to the city of Europe again for Abbott the Racetrack. 8 tracks will return from last season's list of 20. And, of course, that doesn't, of course, what's going to happen is you're going to see a handful of these tracks, maybe see some of them showing up twice, because when we have that 8-race playoff, 3 of them are going to be, 5 of those 8 races are going to be repeats from the regular season. 4 or 5, we're still kind of sorting that out. The Pointless Rextravaganza is going to be taking place at our Figure 8 course. That, of course, we're very excited for. And it's going to be a big season.
The prize purse is going to be off the charts this year. It still may not cover the medical bills.
It may actually. We're hoping it's going to top 5 figures, but we're not sure. We're not sure. We're keeping an eye on 5. Go ahead, sorry.
Get those gray bits in, folks, and we can bump up.
Of course, we thank you. Yeah, we're thank you for the gray bits. Of course, as the gray bits come, so do our sponsorships. Looking at a sponsorship, Florida Georgia Lime, getting a lot of nice interest right now. That is going to be. We're seeing some movement there. Richard Blood trying to put a move on Fat Darrow, and let's see what the new driver. Let's see what 542 Norman can do. 542 Norman. Who does he go with? Does he go with Richard Blood? Does he go with Fat Darrow? He's going to have to make that decision right now. It's looking Fat Darrow actually looking the better one. They are not side by side any longer. But Paul Alcohol leading this race still 6 to 8 laps in.
We're almost, and the field stands and solemnly chants to themselves, nice, as we hit lap 69.
We absolutely do. Lap 69. And it is not, and of course in tradition we're going to take a look and see how the number 69 car is doing. Not very nice right now. 31st place, Morris Mayfield, the last car on the lead lap, and just has not had a good day for Morris Mayfield. New equipment.
It's not been a nice day.
It has not at all. His former ride, that 00 driven by Paul Walker, having a very good day, sitting in 3rd place. And hanging on to that is getting very tight at the top with 30 laps to go. And Morris Mayfield struggling. He, of course, was the winner of this race last season.
My, how the turntables, as they say.
But, I got to say, the 00 car, winner of it last year, once again, top 5.
That's good equipment. That is very, very good equipment that they have got there.
No doubt. And we're not sure if we're going to be seeing any sort of pit stops. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. But of course, if they pit, they're going to have to get some delicious racing fuel of the Diddler Cup Series. You want to go ahead and pay the bills for that one?
Absolutely, folks. Remember, when you need a quick filler up, remember that around the world there are over 50,000 Beefis gas stations, or you can put a little Beefis into your ride. Beefis, the official fuel of the Diddler Cup Racing Series.
There you go. Put a little Beefis in your tank, and you can go ahead and drive like these cars are. We're Seeing a very steady pace being set. Paul Alcohol leading this race. JP Henry, Jean-Paul Henry, trying to keep pace with him, but that gap is opening up just a little bit. He's 0.7 of a second away, and you know, a yellow flag at any given moment could very easily put this whole thing into jeopardy and give us a little bit of an exciting finish. You know,
I'm saying Paul Alcohol. It looks like he's got this car set up for the long runs. That's the thing you want to. When you get a feeling like maybe a race could go a long way in between cautions, or you know, you could have a bunch of cautions in between. That's when you gotta realize how you got to game plan this. You got to have the car set up for the short runs or the long runs.
No doubt about that. And just looking at that, Paul Alcohol finished 20th on this racetrack last season, so that is a marked improvement by the 35 team. And Jean-Paul Henry finished 5th last year, so at this track. So you know, we're not seeing anything too surprising here. You know, JP Henry, that's why he was the champion. He just had a startling amount of top 10 finishes, and then started to figure it together and won 2 of the last 4 races. Of course, the most important one, the one that clinched the championship for him at Texas race.
Absolutely, and I think one of the big stories here, I tell you what, it's got to be 532 Norman. Look at him; he's already caught up to the back of Richard Blood. He could be in for a contest for a top 5 finish. Remember, he is 13 years old.
13 years old. He's right behind. Actually, he's right behind Richard Blood. Was racing side by side with him. Gonna drop back to 7th place.
It's that Dutch kid and them Formula Indy cars that they got over there.
I guess so. 542 Norman is right on the tail of Richard Blood, and you know, I gotta say, Richard Blood had a really I hate to say it, but Richard Blood, disappointing season. Finished 7th, had a whole bunch of top 10 finishes, couldn't win a dang race, and just kept dropping back and back. Just couldn't keep it together. But this year, got himself a racing team, got himself a good new set of equipment, brand new racing team. That 51 team got a good sponsor in Boxawine. He's joined up with Dixie Wimmer Incorporated. You know, he's got teammates like Paul Alcohol and Stumpy Lane, who again, Stumpy Lane is right there behind 542 Norman to maybe help him out, but he's about a second and a half behind.
Oh, the great bits keep flowing in. Everybody wants to see the Diddler Cup Racing Series. We got 20 laps to go, less than 20 laps to go.
20 laps to go, looking at this, and Richard Blood holding on to 6th place. And of course, don't forget, even though you don't win, those racing points in the point system going to stay the same as last year, with the exception of that includes the 5 bonus points for leading any lap during this race, which again is going to only go to Paul Alcohol and Jean-Paul Henry. An additional 5 bonus points is going to go to the man who led the most laps, which right now is Paul Alcohol. I think he may have just clinched that at this point. He is absolutely, I think he's led the majority of laps in this race. He's led over 50, I think, at this point, so we're looking at it. But with 18 laps to go, we're seeing a big log jam. We're going to see what the intervals are as we get through, because there is a big race for 3rd place right now. Paul Walker's got 3 cars right on his tail.
Now, speaking of log jam, I've just been presented with a big slab of raw meat and a syringe here with a very uncomfortably thick needle. I believe this is time we pay the bills for the race sponsor, Beefis.
Yeah, I think it's time to inject a little Beefis right into your femoral artery. Apparently, is that what the cop is saying? I'm not entirely sure about that, but okay.
I mean, that sounds deeply uncomfortable, and that could desperately choke off the circulation of my legs.
Oh.
I mean, hell, let's go for it.
Why not? Okay, well, thanks to our
lather some butter on it, liquefied. Let's go.
All right, well, Beefis is an injectable meat and protein substitute because it's just basically ground raw meat of your choosing. You can get pork, you can get beef, you can get other animal. That's actually the name of the flavor.
The other animal is very exotic. It's a hit down there in West Tempe.
It really is, and you can go ahead and fill your official Beefis branded syringe, and you can just inject that food right into your veins. If you don't have the official injector, you can get yourself a caulking gun and just kind of inject it right into your femoral artery.
Absolutely, absolutely
Even
right.
better.
And of course, the first 10,000 spectators into the gates got a free Beefis injectable syringe.
I believe the official name of the branded name of that is the Beefis lunch gun.
Damn, I love that good lunch gun.
Lunch gun. And we are approaching 12 laps to go. Paul Alcohol opened up a 1 second lead on the competition.
Opened up a can of
Henry.
whoop ass more like.
He certainly is. And we're going to see.
Just so smooth at the wheel. You can't tell, but this man has had 10 shots of cold gin, of course, and about a 6-pack of beer before the start of this race. He said he was good to go, and I believed it.
Yeah, not sure what happened to number 6. The number 60 car, Big Daddy Thibodeau, is 6 laps off the pace. At some point, we must have seen something happen that he had to take that car to the pits. We'll go ahead and roll that back and see what's going on. What we're seeing right now with 10 laps to go is Paul Alcohol continuing to expand that lead, and Jean-Paul Henry, it is now a race for second place and big points there. Paul Alcohol may have just booked himself a spot in the playoffs with a win of this
ticket
race.
clinched.
And of course, a lot of clinching happening as there has been not been a single yellow flag or any sort of pit stop. But of course, we have to thank, if there were a pit stop, we'd have to, of course, get a change of our official pit stop sponsor and, of course, contingency sponsor, Reshart.
Restart your day with Reshart reusable adult diapers. Available at your local Slap Mart, where America shops.
That is, of course, where America shops. Dirk Tanaka in the in 21st place in the number 99 car, driven by and Big Daddy Thibodeau. Not making a charge for this, but he is maybe causing a little bit of havoc here. He's going to have to follow Paul Walker. Paul Walker looking for second place. Paul Walker taking the inside lane, and he's got Big Daddy Thibodeau with him. That's a car that is 6 laps down. That could wreak a little bit of havoc if anything goes wrong with that car. 7 laps to go, and that is in fact going to be, he's going to get a little bit of push from Big Daddy Thibodeau. Here comes Winchester. Look at this battle for second place. 3 of those cars are battling for second. Jean-Paul Henry may have just moved down to 4th on that one. 6 laps to go.
What a lunge from Winchester. He did a side job right up there, 3 wide through these corners. I didn't know you could fit this many cars.
And Thibodeau has actually helped Paul Walker get to second place. And Paul Walker's going to say, hey, thanks, Big Daddy. You did me a good one.
I detest the man intensely, but I got to tell you, he did his part to contribute to some great racing over there. Paul Walker is starting to check out. Look at John Paul Henry. He's starting to fall in the clutches of John Winchester.
Certainly, now it's a battle for third. That lap traffic just helped out, and JP Henry is now going to battle Fat Darrell as well as Winchester. Winchester is now taking third with 4 laps to go.
Richard Blood is in the midst, and so is 542 Norman. The incredible
top 10 finish. That is a great performance by that rookie driver.
Did just want to point out with 3 laps to go, forcing the Beefis injected beef can be used on your Cinefist.
Hey, we got to keep that. We got to wait for that. Of course, that race is about to happen. That's later on in the season. But we're looking at John Winchester, 3rd place right now performance, and that is a much better performance. He finished 26th in this race last year, so they figured this out. 2 laps to go, and it is suddenly a battle for 4th as Jean-Paul Henry has to fend off Fat Darrell, has to fend off Richard Blood and 542 Norman. But we're going to go ahead and go back to our race leader as he takes the white flag. Paul Alcohol, a quick race around this 3/4 of a mile short track in South Tucson. He's going to come around the stretch, and Paul Alcohol, he may have finished 3rd last season. He's going to start things strong and win the Beefis 300 in that 35 car.
Oh, I tell you what, Paul Alcohol just drove the race of his life. He sees that lead, he never looked back. What a
No doubt about it.
What a way to open the season up, to get a victory off the defending champion, pass him for the lead, and just leave him in the dust.
No doubt he does that, and he's going to go ahead and take that right to the pits. That car is going to be a very exciting one, and War Machine Racing really enjoyed that one. No doubt about that. And we're going to go ahead and just let you know that that is our winner right now.
Paul Alcohol, assuming the car, let's just face it, we don't inspect the cars after the race. You just run what you run, and as long as it don't go up in a ball of flames, hell, just roll with it.
Pretty much, and I think we see there's Jim Blossom's 27th place. Not a very good finish for Jim Blossom.
Speaking of things exploding into a ball of fire and catastrophes, there is Jim Blossom's. I tell you what, the heart and the grit and the determination that man has, most of it artificial. I mean, just like the rest of his body by this point.
No doubt about that, Lloyd. I think we may have, you see our official graphic, there is your winner, Paul Alcohol, winning the Beefis 300 in the number 35 Bathhouse Gym's Bathtub Gin. That is a big win for that Ford race team, War Machine Racing, and Giacomo, a 13th place finish for him. Not too bad. Let's go down the top 10. While I think you're going to head down to the pits and get a word with Paul Alcohol, while we go ahead and run through the top 10.
Pump a beer, yes.
All right, go ahead and pop that cold one. I'm going to go ahead and let you know. And Paul Alcohol, your winner, Paul Walker in that double zero Nihilist Arby's Ford Pinto winning in second place. Another Ford win in third place. That's John Winchester in that number 47 car. Jean-Paul Henry, the first Chevy to finish, is in fourth in the number 40 Ludger Beer Bomb Chevy Prism. Fat Darrell in that number 81 Pontiac Bonneville, sponsored by All the Ham, finishes in fifth place. Richard Blood, sixth place in that number 51 Box of Wine car. That Chevy Prism, strong finish again. That is amazing. We're going to see, that is going to be all three of the DWI team finished in the top 10, because 542 Norman, the rookie, seventh place, number 13, that Florida Georgia Lime Dodge Stratus, finishing amazing in seventh place. They got a heck of a young rider, that 13-year-old, on their team. That's going to be impressive. Stumpy Lane, eighth place. Can't complain too badly when the worst driver on your team finishes in eighth place. Stumpy Lane, big points for DWI, eighth place in that number 9 Gumboo's car. In ninth place, Jeff Shanice, independent driver, driving the number 38 Jeff's Chinese car. And rounding out the top 10, another South Tucson Youth Motorsports car, Ennio Sparini in that Dodge Stratus, finishing in 10th place, sponsored by Wall to Wall Salve in that number 28 car, And I look at Smiley Van Vuren, Vitaly Kriptov, 11 and 12. Those are a couple of rookies doing well. Look at some of the other rookies. Bucket Dushine finished in 15th place in that Taco Baco car. Petrol Topoff in 18th place in the number 90 car. Looking through, Dirk Tanaka, 21st place. So we're seeing a lot good variety of some of our rookies. But man, 542 Norman was the story of the day. I understand Lightning Lord Shivers, you're down in the pits with our winner Paul Alcohol.
Yes, they Beefis inject the beefs. They are going off. They are shooting up in the sky. This is a disgusting texture of confetti, but I'm here with the race winner, Paul Alcohol. Paul, did you ever think going out of preseason testing you would be in this position winning the opening race of the season?
Oh, brother, you know it. We had a great car this afternoon. We got to thank everybody at Bathtub Gin, baby! Got to thank everybody here at War Machine Racing. They put together a great car for us. And all we got to do is just make sure we get this thing out tomorrow on the streets of South Tucson, baby!
I tell you what, we saw you making a charge through the field and passing John Paul Henry to take the lead, and it seemed like you just never had to go. What was your strategy to winning the race?
Well, we just had that car hooked up in all day today. This bathtub's just bathtub check car. They've been a hell of a part bit up for us. It just cruised through the corners, and I tell you what, we're very confident. Great way to open up the season. I gotta thank everybody at the team here for doing such a great job with us.
Yeah, and Lloyd, I understand they're going to be bringing over a new tradition, the Beefis 300. Going to be bringing over the champagne flute of drippings. It's actual meat drippings. I think it's just been squozen out of. Basically, open up a package of ground beef or raw and just kind of squeezed it into a.
Now this is not the au jus. This is just the residual blood that's left over when you don't clean out the beef at the local supermarket.
Correct. That is. Yeah, we don't want au jus. What are we, fucking millionaires?
No, we ain't no 1%ers over here. This is a series for the common man.
And Paul Alcohol.
Dripping, baby!
Paul Alcohol. He is just downing that champagne flute of beef blood. Basically, beef drippings, juices, and it's got to be the sweetest taste. I'm sure you can taste the iron in there as well, but I'm sure that tastes very sweet to him and his team.
He can taste the salmonella. He can taste the E. coli, and he can taste victory at this opening round of the season. What a drive from Alcohol.
That he can.
But of course, this is a much different race tomorrow. You got the actual streets of South Tucson. You got left turns, right turns, potholes, potential moving violation. Let's be real. This whole race is a moving violation.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Paul. I gotta ask Paul. Is he still with you for a last question or two, or is he?
Oh yes, indeed.
Now, Paul, this is a big start. You didn't do too great in South Tucson in the South Tucson duo last season. You finished 20. You won the dang race this year. You had a really rough try on the road courses last year. You ended up not doing so hot. How do you turn it around so quickly to go ahead and run on the actual roads of South Tucson? You guys are going to be partying, you're going to be studying some tapes, you're going to be just going ahead and seeing what happens.
I'm just feeling very sick off of this beef drippings gun. It's wonderful. But no, we did a lot of work in the off season, and now we're just gonna make sure we can apply that for the rest of the championship challenge. It's a different format this year. Oh goodness, I'm starting to feel a little dizzy. I don't know if that's just this salmonella kicking in or not.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Thank you. Yeah, I think he's going and vomiting right now. Lord, you can make your way. You can kind of shower off if you can at least get some of the beef juice off.
No,
try not to track that. Oh, you're just tracked it right into the studio. Okay, you know what? That's fine. We will bleach the hell out of this place. Sometime if we have to come back here in the playoffs, then we'll bleach it. You know what? Until then, fuck it. We're not gonna be back here.
Fuck it. It's not like we got to repave this place all over again. We just did that all this off season. Fuck it.
But for real, if we actually had to come back here, we'd probably want to go make a phone call and have him bleach the studio, because that's not going to be good.
No. We're going to be all right here.
But Lloyd, it's a quick turnaround tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern time is the time for race.
I can make no promises that I will not have passed away the evening before due to a heart attack induced by all sorts of substance abuse. But even if I will still be there calling the action home for this.
We will wheel your corpse out and weekend at Berners You. That is going to be great. It's going to be an exciting race on the actual roads of South Tucson. A race won by Woo Bye Bye last season. We'll see who can do it this year. And that's the interesting thing about Paul Alcohol now with this new setup. He's won. He's already qualified for the playoffs. He's in no matter what. Now you can kind of just, figure out your ride, figure out these courses, get used to them, because you already know you're going to see about 4 or 5 of these courses in the playoffs a second time.
Absolutely.
And that's the big reveal, is that once the regular season is over, you can go ahead. That's the big reveal, is what courses we're going to be going to a second time.
Oh goodness, it's a mystery. It could be any course. It could be this one. It could be the actual streets of South Tucson again. There are so many possibilities. The choices are yours and yours alone. Good luck to every team that is going to be competing for the championship in this Diddler Cup playoff format.
No doubt about that. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring things to a close. Last couple questions. I got to ask, of the rookie drivers, I mean, 542 Norman, amazing performance by 542 Norman.
Oh my goodness, absolutely! I feel like he's been the story of the race. I tell you what, this reminds me of way back when you see guys like a Jeff Gordon or a Kyle Busch hit the scene, just so incredibly young and so incredibly talented. Well, you can take your Jeff Gordons and your Kyle Bushes, and you can take them and shove them right in the fucking garbage can, because 542 Norman is the future of this sport, and he's going to go a long way if that 7th place finish is any indication. Remember, he is 13 years old. He's technically not allowed to drive these cars.
He don't know how to drive a normal car.
No, he's not allowed to drive a normal car. That doesn't mean he's not going to try anyway.
And we're going to put him on the actual roads of South Tucson tomorrow. I cannot wait for that. Well, that's going to be anybody else in the in the race today that really impressed you, Lloyd. And just
the power and the strength of the Dixie Women Inc. organization. They were another one of these teams that were so impressive in the off season. They've got. It seems like they've got great equipment. They got a great staff of mechanics behind them. I mean, granted that it's a South Tucson race mechanics. I mean, they pull
no doubt about that.
Yeah, most of these cars are going to be duct taped together, and that's perfectly fine. You just got to do the job. And,
that's kind of the weird thing about when we race in South Tucson is they kind of have to get their own. This year, South Tucson kind of insisted on using their own mechanics to kind of help the local economy. Once we get out of South Tucson, I believe we'll have they'll be able to have their own pit crews and everything as well. But nonetheless, that's a good point about DWI, Dixie Women Incorporated. Jean-Paul Henry, Richard Blood, and Stumpy Lane, those are drivers who finished in 1st, 7th, and 14th last season. That's a strong racing team. That's a strong set of drivers. And again, 2 of them coming back to their same cars. You got Richard Blood in a brand new racing team, good sponsorship. That's going to just lift you up a little bit more. So that's going to be a team to watch.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you one thing. When people say that stock car racing in the good old US of A is a dying sport, it's a sport of the past. They say attendance is down and viewership ratings are down, and nobody cares about the sport because it can't market to the youngins. Well, we got a great crowd of people, young and old, of various levels of intoxication, who've just seen a whale of a race and will be treated to a whale of a season. Thank you all for tuning in and proving that stock car racing in this country is still just as good as it ever was, especially better with the Diddler Cup Racing Series. Now, I'll drink to that as I have been throughout this entire broadcast.
Yeah, well, I would drink to that if I didn't need a refill right now. I'm going to go ahead and get a refill. Lightning Lloyd, Shivers, thank you as always for joining me in the commentary booth for your expertise. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern on the actual roads of South Tucson. Be sure to check it out right here. Of course, all the ways you can watch are below, and you can go ahead and watch us here on IRM. That is our beautiful network that we thank so much. Give them a subscription. Give them a follow. Go ahead and follow their social media stuff, YouTube, Twitter. This race will be up on YouTube soon enough, so you can go ahead and watch it. Thank you, and it has been a goddamn auto race. We would like to thank y'all for making it a special occasion. And we'll see you for Lightning Lord Shivers. I'm Chip Chapman. We'll see you tomorrow as we go ahead with the second half of this South Tucson duo as we're on the actual roads of South Tucson. It has been a goddamn auto race. Yes.
And remember, please stay off the roads. Unless you want to see some carnage up there.
Seriously, if you live in South Tucson, you stay off the roads. Just stay in your house at this point, or maybe just like evacuate tonight. You might
get up on the roof of your house.
Get a good view. Good view.
Yeah. You want to see some of the carnage. You just don't want to be swept up in it.
All right. Well, we'll see you as it has been a goddamn auto race.
Wow.